So when we open the kit, we'll either need tape or a StatLock secure device. Many kits now come with the StatLock device in the kit, so that's one of the things you'll want to check when you check the labeling. Otherwise, have a separate StatLock kit. You'll peel open carefully the kit and remove it. And then this is discard or to be thrown away. You can throw everything on the floor in the interest of keeping yourself sterile and clean as you do the process and clean it all up at the end. Or if you would like, you can bring the garbage can over to an area where you're not going to trip on it and discard that as you go along. When you go to open the kit, remember your principles of sterile technique, and you'll open the first part of the kit away from you with your hand out to the side, always away from you. If it's gonna come back up, hold it down. Remember, you have a 1-inch non-sterile border, so as long as you're not over, you can straighten this out. Again, I'm going to come from the side and pull my kit open. All of this is the shiny non-sterile part, so we don't want to cross over the exposed sterile part. We want to grab anything that's going to be non-sterile. And again, we might need to hold our 1-inch border. Mr. Yarbo, the first thing I'm going to do is to place a sterile drape between your legs. At this point is where I need you to maintain your legs still so that we don't contaminate this border. My shiny side is the non-sterile, and I want to reach as little as possible over to get this, since currently my hands are not sterile. So I don't want to grab this from any side that's going to be the sterile. I can grab anywhere that's shiny, and as soon as I grab, I want to lift up high so that it doesn't dangle as it opens and touch. So lift up and step back away so that you're not on your table. I want to find the shiny side, because the shiny side is what's going to go against the bed and against my breath, so that I don't contaminate it. So again, I can grab that 1-inch non-sterile border and come around and hold it. You can see this drape is crimped in the middle. I can make the decision to come back around and open that more, or I can leave it like that if it's not going to contaminate my field. Okay, Mr. Yarbo, are you ready? Here comes the drape. When I bring the drape, I want to slide it and let it drop. If you notice, I did not come in and bend my hands over my drape. I just brought it in and let it drop. The next thing I'm going to do is grab out my gloves. And again, my arms and hands are not sterile at this point, but there's no way to grab the gloves without going over the field. So I want to minimize contamination as much as possible. So right here, this is my smallest edge, and it's not coming over the catheter part, which is going into the patient. So I'm going to come and grab my gloves and bring them over. You'll remember how you open your gloves. You can fold your corners down. All of this is not sterile because it's going to be the part that's open to the table. And I have that 1-inch border. Okay, I am right-handed, so my right hand's going to pinch up. My dominant hand is going to pinch the border. Bring your glove up so it's not dangling on the table. Palm up towards you, and pull your hand in. You can see I've missed a finger. I'll show you how to fix that. That happens pretty commonly. Once I let go, I can pull one time down, and then that's it. That's as much as I can do for this glove. Now I have sterile, and sterile's gonna touch sterile, which is the inner part of the glove. I might need to hold my wrapper in place so that I'm not moving it all over, because you can see I'm contaminating all of this now. So I'm gonna hold this in place while I get my fingers up in the cuff. My thumb is well away from the field. As you saw, this finger is originally up here. So before I put my hand in, I wanted to get that down and out of my way. So I'm going to bring my fingers in, all the way down, let go. Sterile to touch sterile. I can now take this and reposition so that now my fingers are in, and I can pull down like this only. I may not grab near my borders because my borders are 1 inch non-sterile. To come over to my kit now, again, I want to minimize my arms crossing in. So I'm going to make sure my arms aren't up against my body, and I'm gonna stand with my body away from my sterile table, and I'm gonna grab my kit, and I'm gonna position this and lay it back, watching my 1 inch border. And I'm gonna take my small kit and lay it to the side. My kit here, I want so that I can have this toward me when I attach my syringe. And I'm gonna just go ahead and do that now. This drape can be thrown away. Remember, I can't go below my waist, so I am going to pick it up and just drop it from a height. Doesn't matter where it goes. I'm gonna take my syringe, remove the cap. I can drop the cap in here, I can drop the cap wherever. I don't want it rolling all around, I tend to just drop it right in. And as you can see, only my gloved part of my hands are crossing over that border, and I'm gonna firmly attach this and just lay it back down in. In your kit will come iodine, and in the lab we'll have you take out the iodine, and we will put the simulated swab sticks in here. We will put the swab sticks in there because we can't use iodine on the mannequin, okay? So again, it doesn't matter what order I do these, but I think what I'm gonna do next is grab my jelly. You can see only the gloved part of my hands is crossing over this barrier. And I'm gonna rip off my jelly and drop it from a height. If, for instance, I wasn't thinking and I held the package this way and I ripped it off, I cannot cross over. I can either drop now from here, or I can assembly line it that way so that my hands come together but never cross over. And I am going to just put my jelly into the little place of the tray so that I can lubricate the tip of my catheter. I'm going to take my catheter out of its protective packaging, and as you notice, my hands went up with it, because if I just stayed down here while I held it, this happens. And now our kit is contaminated and can't be used. So as I took it out of the packaging, my hand followed it up so that I can put it right back in. Again, notice I don't have my arms in over, only my hand is over. To grab the swab sticks, they're a little bit far away from me and I don't want to reach my arm over my border. So I'm going to pick up my kit and I'm going to turn it so that I can grab my swab sticks and turn it back and lay it down. When I open my swab sticks, again, if I open this way, I can only discard to this side. If I open this way, I can discard to this side. And I'm gonna go ahead and really open them so that I can grab the sticks themselves. And I'm gonna tuck them into the box, and you'll see that we may have to reposition them at a later time. My catheter, for a male, I'm going to lubricate 5 to 7 inches along that catheter. and I'm going to return it to my kit. Again, at no time does my arm cross into my kit, only my blue gloves. Mr. Yarbo, at this point I am going to put the kit in between your legs. Please remain still. I'm getting ready to insert the catheter. Pick up your box, and I'm going to tip it to you so you can see what I'm about ready to say. The area where the syringe connects needs to be pointed towards the head of your patient. If you put the box down this way with it pointed away from the patient, it's very hard to thread that catheter. So when I'm picking this up, I'm going to go ahead and stabilize. I'm going to turn the box this way, and I realize at this time my swab sticks will be on the other side, and I would have to cross my hand over the catheter to get them, and I don't want that. So I'm going to pick the swab sticks up, and I'm going to move them to the side closest to me.